A lot of people get on my case about how I never answer my phone because I have crippling anxiety about talking on the phone. But I feel like this film finally makes my case for me. Finney Shaw is a shy 13-year-old boy who finds himself kidnapped and held in a soundproof basement by a sadistic, masked killer known only as the Grabber. When a rotary phone that is disconnected on the wall starts to ring, Finney discovers that he can hear the voices of the Grabber's previous victims, who are bound to make sure what happened to them does not happen to Finney. Before I get going with my review for The Black Phone, big thank you to Universal Pictures UK for granting me a chance to watch this one at an early screening. So let me know your thoughts on The Black Phone, if you're excited, if you've seen it, and if you love movies and TV, this is the place to be. So consider clicking that subscribe button so you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. I'm a big fan of Scott Derrickson, so I naturally came into this film with pretty high expectations, as this is the first film that we've gotten from him in a while, but it's also the first film that is not based on an original idea from himself, like Exorcism of Emily Rose or Sinister. This is actually based on a 2004 short story by Joe Hill, and Derrickson still hasn't lost a step. His stripped-back direction allows for this deliciously evil slow burn to play out in very different ways than just your standard horror film. You have the supernatural element whenever the phone rings and Finney can talk to dead kids, but then you also have the very real horror of just this kidnapper who's kidnapping kids, and he does a great job at putting you in a position in the POV of a child, as the groundwork for this film is so effective in making the Grabber this creature of another world. He immediately gives you a certainty of danger and impending doom, as when you start seeing kids getting kidnapped, you don't really see them getting kidnapped. You just see them walking around the street, going their merry way, but in the background, in the far background, you'll see a black van, you'll see the Grabber, and the image just fades to black, really giving you that sense that there is no escape from the Grabber. So the film is playing with these two levels of horror from beginning to end. That gives it a certain edge, that gives it a certain oomph that is special and distinguishes it from the pack. I also love that Derrickson clearly understands what to show an audience and what not to show an audience. You have this constant sense of claustrophobia. Whenever you're in the cell with Finney, there's two types of danger surrounding him. He's obviously in prison, but the Grabber can come in at any moment. You don't really know what this guy wants. And also, the phone can ring at any moment. And for the longest time, you're like, is this really going to help him? Is this going to put him in more danger than he is at any given moment? And Derrickson, being back in his horror roots, squeezes and mines all the nightmarish visions with great thrills and fantastic jump scares. Never false scares, always a payoff to the suspense he is building throughout the film. And a lot of that suspense, a lot of that fear that is injected into every single frame of the film is transmitted with the Grabber. And if you're talking about the Grabber, you gotta talk about Ethan Hawke. He plays this character with devilish glee. Hawke is clearly having so much fun putting up this terrifying yet captivating performance. What is so intriguing about the Grabber is that he's just a man. It's the vagueness, the mystery behind his intentions, who he really is, that make him so intriguing to watch. It's almost like this perverted game he's playing with his victims that along the journey make it so entertaining and such an edge of your seat experience. But going a little bit back to the groundwork that the film lays for him, despite him being just a man, and whenever he talks to Finney, he tries to be friendly and all that, but from the beginning, this guy feels powerful, like he's unstoppable. He'll always be successful at kidnapping a kid. The police find themselves clueless to find him and all that. And he has all these different masks that he exhibits his mood with. there are two parts of the mask, the upper part with the eyes and then the lower with the mouth. Sometimes he'll be smiling, sometimes he'll be frowning, sometimes he'll have no mouth at all, sometimes he'll only be wearing half of the mask, and all of them are terrifying again because of that vagueness, their mystery, because the film doesn't really spoon feed you what it means. It just allows the mystery, the unknown, to sink in and the fear to make you unsettled throughout the entire experience. And playing off of Hawk is young Mason Thames. I believe this is his first feature role, and he's spectacular. The film does a great job at making you really like this kid, really root for you, as he comes from this not very healthy household, not this very healthy family life, and so this kid already has problems. Then he gets beaten up at school, he has these several bullies, and then he gets kidnapped. So the relationship between hero and villain in this film is so well mined, so engaging. It's such a fun experience to live through and to root for this kid to somehow, some way find a way out of that cell. But for all the good elements that there are in the Black Phone, I was overall somewhat underwhelmed, as I feel Scott Derrickson's direction truly elevate this film, because the script itself, really nice ideas, a great villain, a very likable hero, easy to root for, incredible atmosphere, but there are quite a few ideas that feel undercooked and underdeveloped. Bringing us back a little bit to how the film plays with two levels of horror, a supernatural element, a realistic element. Finney has a sister who has dreams, and those dreams give her visions of reality. Throughout the film, they give her kind of these clues at finding the grabber, at finding Finney. And the film never really explains it, it sort of is just there, but it plays out as a very convenient plot device. Not only the visions that she gets, but when she gets these visions, how she gets the visions, they're not really well defined in the information they should give her, so they just come in and just feel too convenient. I think one of the elements that undoes a lot of the good concepts that there are in this element of the story is that as soon as Finney's sister figures out what is happening and how she can help her brother, someone else also does. And that someone else doesn't really have powers. So I kind of feel like it undercuts the whole point of that supernatural element. Furthermore, the grabber, I feel like there's such a rich mystery to him throughout the film. But a mystery is only rich if you get answers, if you get reveals about it, and you really don't. I think Ethan Hawke brings such a chilling presence onto the screen in this thrilling physical performance that is absolutely terrifying. This could very well become a new kind of Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees kind of character, but I feel like we needed more by the end of the film. And so there are sprinkles of ideas in this script that feel rich, but they amount to little or nothing. I don't know if it's just that Derrickson and his co-writer preferred the vagueness, didn't think too much about it. I don't know if there are elements in the short story by Joe Hill that didn't make it across the adaptation process, but I was just underwhelmed at the script itself. The film overall makes for such an engaging horror experience that being unclear, vague about its themes, intentions, and even motivations for characters feels like a disservice, where it's hard for any movie to really stick the landing, but horror even more so. So the scares are there, the intensity is there. There was just overall potential for more. Derrickson's sure-handed yet stripped-back direction allows the horror and the performances to shine with unrelenting intensity, thrills, and scares, elevating overall what is a somewhat underwhelming script, proving once more that he is a force in the horror genre. I'm giving The Black Phone a B-. And those are my thoughts on The Black Phone. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. If you've seen it, if you enjoy it, what is your favorite Scott Derrickson horror film? Once more, big thank you to Universal Pictures UK for granting me a chance to watch this one early. And thank you so much for watching. Big thank you to my channel members for always supporting the channel. And I'll be back very soon with more videos. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.